Well, hi there. Warm welcome. You're watching Decoding Now, and I'm Meghna Deka. Well, tonight, as we speak, there is a war cry for Azadi from Pakistan. This call is deafening in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, where thousands march against the deadly oppression of the Pakistani Rangers. The Azadi call is echoing in Balochistan, where there is systematic persecution of the Baloch people. Gilgit-Baltistan wants Azadi from Pakistan's oppressive taxation and human rights violations. From Khyber Pakhtunkhwa to Sindh, there are no takers for Pakistan, or Faugistan as they call it, in their own country. And what do Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif and Field Marshal Asim Munir do about it? Well, they tried killing innocent civilians, but the protests did not die down. They snapped out internet, but the stories of atrocities could not be silenced. They threatened, intimidated, rained bullets, but the flame of Azadi kept burning. Tonight, we will decode Pakistan's final gambit, pushing terror into India, to deflect attention from uprisings by bleeding India with 1,000 cuts. The only state policy Asim Munir and Shehbaz Sharif care about is that of terror. Let's start with the Lashkar-e-Taiba training boot camp. This will give you a sense of how Pakistan is using its forces, its resources, its mind space, its policy to only breed terror in its backyard. What you can see on your screens, a Lashkar-e-Taiba training camp. We are getting visuals purportedly coming in from an LET training camp which was set up in POK. This one shows terror operative Rana Ashfaq. This man you can see on your screens, Rana Ashfaq. He appears to be an aquatic training exercises. He is trying to induct and train others. The footage, which includes pool drills, swimming lessons, all of this has drawn attention online with many questions being raised. The effectiveness and seriousness of the so-called training. This is a training for infiltration into India, experts say, via the water route. And had happened even at the time of 26/11. Well, there are more visuals we are going to show for you on your screens. This also linked to a Lashkar-e-Taiba training facility which shows recruits undergoing swimming and water-based exercises. The footage features poolside drills described as part of the group's so-called commando training program. You can see that on your screens. They are being taught how to jump into the water, how to hold their breath, and how to stay there, how to stay undetected. This is the terror training, the aquatic terror training module of Pakistan's terrorism that you can see on your screens. More visuals continue with another sequence of water-based exercises showing recruits in what appears to be a swimming class presented as special forces training. This footage has reignited questions about the nature and the quality of the training regime as well. But this you can see on your screens, training classes to those even above water. Special forces they are calling it. You can see the quality of training, but nonetheless, the point is, this is the state of affairs in Pakistan. Instead of training their people in technical skills, in global skills, skills in IT, to build engineers, to build doctors, what are they doing? They are pushing their youth towards jihad. And that on your screens shows just how. There's another set of visuals that we are going to show for you, again, purportedly from the same training facility, which shows martial arts training sessions also involving young recruits. This footage that you can see on your screens appears to depict karate-style drills and hand-to-hand combat being taught to the terror recruits. Exercises which were being conducted as part of the terror camp's physical training routine itself. But here's the larger question. Why are these LET training camps surfacing now? Is it merely a coincidence, or does the timing itself tell a bigger story? What is it that those men on your screens are plotting? Shehbaz Sharif and Asim Munir. Look at the pressure that Pakistan is facing today. Pakistan-occupied Kashmir is revolting. Thousands are marching against the atrocity of the Pakistani rangers. Balochistan continues to witness unrest. There is discontent which persists in the former FATA region, parts of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. Multiple fronts are now demanding one thing: Azadi from Islamabad, Azadi from Balochistan. There is a tension that Islamabad cannot anymore divert from. Pakistan cannot stifle out the dissent that is now brewing, the flame of revolt which is now burning bright. People have made it clear. They want the world to see they have unmasked the atrocities of Pakistan, and now they call for Azadi. In Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, reports claim that at least 6 civilians have been killed after security forces allegedly opened fire during anti-government protests. We are going to show you those protests on your screens, which will give you a sense of how there are thousands of people who have marched against Islamabad. These are the visuals that you can see. Innocent people, many of them were shot at because they dared to stand up against the Pakistani rangers. The reported deaths have now further inflamed tensions. 8 people killed, and these were innocents. These were civilians who were demanding what? Basic rights, essential items, so that they have fuel, so that they have flour. But what do they get? They get crackdown. Crackdown and intense scrutiny. Questions are now being raised about the response of Pakistan's political and military leadership as well, with the spotlight firmly poured onto the streets, calling it a march for Azadi, as anger against Islamabad continues to gather momentum, which is led by the joint Awami Action Committee. In fact, the protest reflects mounting resentment over governance, economic hardship, and allegations of a widening crackdown on those who dare to dissent. Well, the impact was visible. Across the town, you can see the impact of it, with nearly 90% of shops remaining shut. 8 people were killed. Whose fault was that? Protesters have again come face to face with Pakistani security forces as demonstrations continue to gather momentum across the region. Despite the heightened security, there are crowds who have demanded that they refuse to go back home. They have remained on the streets. They remain there to raise slogans for Azadi, pressing their demands, many of them reaching out to India, saying India must come and help us with basic needs, help us with humanitarian assistance, and more importantly, free us from Pakistan. And these are voices coming in from POK itself. The images that are coming in from Rawalkot underscore the growing tensions, with the protest movement now showing little signs of backing down. So what really is the stand? Let's tell you. Well, reports are suggesting that Pakistan is targeting the JAAC, the top JAAC leaders who are there on the hit list. What is the objective? All they want to do is suppress the POK protests. In fact, what does Pakistan stand? The Pakistan stand is that top JAAC leaders are on the hit list. The JAAC says that the leadership is defiant despite all these threats which are coming in. Their objective is to suppress POK's protests. JAAC says that they have vowed to keep the protests alive no matter what and no matter how much of suppression continues. In fact, this is the kind of defiance that we have seen. Also, let's remind you of the key demands that the joint Awami Action Committee has consistently raised since this protest movement first gathered momentum. It's important for us to understand what is it that they actually want. Why is POK today rising against the atrocities of Pakistan? What do they want? Very simple things. Look at this on your screens. What do they want? They demand that there be electricity at production costs. Are they wrong in doing that? They demand that they want subsidized flour and wheat, and they are being shot on the streets for protesting and demanding that. They demand the abolition of elite privileges which are given to only those in positions of power. They demand anti-corruption reforms, and they are being shot at for that. They are demanding that there be reforms in tax and governance. They demand that there should be local government which is empowered so that the people of POK, so that the people of occupied POK, the Kashmiris who are there in POK, they get some kind of representation. And these are the basic demands that they have asked for, but unfortunately they've been met with bullets, with repression, and with a crackdown that should not be unleashed by forces, any kind of a force against your own people. And what does Pakistan do? It's shifted its attention across to India. Instead of addressing these problems, Pakistan is instead training terrorists to push it into India. That perhaps lies the basic problem of why there is terror shadow over POK, but the March for Azadi will not be silenced. Let me go across to our panelists. Today, joining us on the show, we have Sushil Pandit, an activist, someone who has spoken about human rights successfully and consequently. There is also Major Nadeem. He's joining us. He's a retired Pakistani major. He's also a defense analyst. Thank you so much, Major Nadeem, for joining us. I'm going to start with you first. On one hand, you have uprisings happening across Pakistan. Gilgit-Baltistan, Balochistan, POK, you name it, and there have been uprising. Calls for Azadi cannot be silenced anymore. Is resorting to terror the final gambit of Pakistan?
They are not insurgent, number one. They are not asking for the independence. Okay? Their movement, you yourself has explained that it was a social movement and they were asking the basic needs.
They are asking for Azadi.
Not Azadi.
They have asked for Azadi. Major Nadeem, don't act like the Pakistani government. Please listen to what they have said. They have asked for Azadi. That is what they are asking for. Azadi from this atrocity unleashed by Pakistan and its rangers. They are very clear about what they want.
You yourself has just given the premise. In your premise, you said they are asking the basic things. And those basic things were subsidies, right? On the utilities, on the bills, on the grain, on the flour. All the
and what did the Pakistani Rangers do?
Pakistan Rangers is not there. We are not being asked in aid of civil power. There is a procedure. The Rangers is on the border on the LOC. Rangers' job is there on the LOC.
Are there no Pakistani Rangers in POK? Who killed those 8 protesters? Major Nadeem.
If they fire on the Rangers checkpost, if they destroy any military equipment, then definitely they will meet the destiny, right? They will be dealt strictly. Our job is
they were protesting on the streets. They were innocent people. We have their pictures. We are going to put that out. Along with Asim Munir, we are going to put out the innocent faces of those people who were killed. And no, Major Nadeem, they were not terrorists. They were not insurgents. They were protesters. We are going to put their pictures on your face to remind you.
Meghna, there is no military operation is going on in POK. No Rangers has been called on aid of civil power by the civil government, right? They are dealing, if we had to kill the people, we should have killed the leadership by using the snipers. You yourself is showing the clips that their leadership is standing on the roof in Ravla over a house, okay, and they are addressing the people and misguiding the people. We could have easily killed them using the sniper.
So you are saying thousands of people are being misguided by the JAAC, but you refuse to accept that 8 of these protesters have been killed by the Pakistani Rangers. Sushil Pandit, this is delusion of the highest order. When you know your own backyard is burning, what is your response? Saying that they are being misled?
Meghna, what else do you expect? This is the same Pakistani state which was in denial in 1971 till December 16. The headlines in Dawn was that we are winning while they were surrendering. So this state is again in denial. Let me give you some basic fact, and I'm sure Major Nadeem knows about those facts. JAAC, Joint Awami Action Committee, was a body with which the system went into an agreement last year, conceding 36 demands or 32 demands. The same JAAC has been declared a terror organization last month.
Yes.
Can you imagine? This has been proscribed, banned as a terror organization with whom they went into an agreement and did not meet even a single demand promised by those agreements. That JAAC, after sitting in for a month and after being surrounded for a month, cut off with everything because there was a big siege to Rawalakot town. Rawalakot is right in the middle of this vertical sliver called Pakistan-occupied Kashmir.
Yes.
Just to confine them there and not let anyone join them there from different parts. Today, they have said, okay, if you don't let people come in here, we will reach to the capital of the so-called Azad Kashmir, which is Muzaffarabad.
Yes.
And they have called upon all the people to march with them. And today, on their lips is only one slogan, Watan ya Kafan. This is what they have pushed their own people to. But you can be in denial. The point is, you think you can come and say anything here and we will believe it, contrary to the pictures we can see, contrary to the voices we can hear, contrary to the reports we know. Just because they have blacked out this entire thing from their own media, they think that nothing is happening.
Yeah.
It's like shutting your eyes and then saying, I don't see anything.
Convenient
That's not going to help
to be
this
in
time.
denial,
Being in
Major
denial
Nadeem.
is not going to help.
But kafan ya watan, that is what people in POK are saying. But unfortunately, Major Nadeem, here's the problem. What is the Pakistani establishment doing? It's still trying to train terror modules. Instead of giving training, when it comes to try and build engineers and doctors, all you are trying to build and educate people for your own people, your own youth are being poisoned with terror training camps. We can see that on your screens. We can see visuals of a terror training camp of Lashkar-e-Taiba, which is still thriving as we speak. Major Nadeem, is terror going to be the way that Pakistan distracts from the fire in its own backyard?
Okay, Meghna, you can gauge our intellect or education level by seeing our arsenals. We are the nuclear power country.
You've stolen nuclear power. If you have to boast, let's not boast about stealing nuclear studies from other countries. For God's sake, Major Nadeem, you want to boast about stealing nuclear technology. Your country is full of cheats. You stole nuclear technology. If you want to boast about your scientists, boast about something that you actually can. But unfortunately, it isn't because of your nuclear energy which you have stolen from another country.
Meghna, there are 10 nuclear power reactors working in Pakistan, and you are saying that it's a copy?
Pakistan is sitting on a tinder box. Major Nadeem, aapko dikh raha hai?
Outsourced, right? And we are manufacturing fighter.
Only export that Pakistan has is terror. Terror training de rahe. That's your only export.
You know, moreover, you are talking about the JAAC. The JAAC presented 38 demands. JAAC is not the today's. It was.
Did Pakistani government have a deal with JAAC last year?
Yes.
Now today they are so scared of JAAC that you banned them.
No.
Why did you ban
we
them?
Accepted their demands.
Because you realized they were more powerful than your Rangers were. Your Rangers have bullets. They have conviction. They are fighting for Azadi.
You go to Wikipedia, you go to Google.
Wikipedia छोड़ दीजिए. That is the problem. आगे बढ़िए. That's precisely what I'm saying. Wikipedia पे सारा knowledge ना Wikipedia WhatsApp पे नहीं आता. Leave these two W's and move towards something beyond. Sushil Pandit, but this is a problem for India. Let's not forget that Pakistan, when it decides that there is nothing it can do in its backyard, they will go to Wikipedia, they will go to these terror camps, and this is what they are learning. WhatsApp training jo inki chal rahi hai, Sushil Pandit. India needs to be wary, isn't it?
35 demands have been met. Only 3 demands left.
In order to hoodwink the world, in order to misguide and lie to the world, they will also go through the motions of slapping 35 years life sentence on Hafiz Saeed to convince that we are against terror. But who created Hafiz Saeed? Who let him do all that he did? Who is not genuinely prosecuting him and his team, like Lakhvi, like others who ran different markazes? The problem is they want to run with the hounds and run with the hare and hunt with the hounds. Hunt with the hounds. They want, and they think that they will be able to perpetually fool the world with this. This is not going to happen. This is certainly not going to happen. And this kind of attitude has created 1,000 mutinies in Pakistan. Today, Balochistan has declared itself free.
Yes.
Today, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa is to be controlled with using air force and bombardment on civilians. Today, TTP is running riot with more than a dozen incidents in a day. Every day they are bleeding soldiers in Balochistan and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa on the border with Afghanistan. And now, more than all this put together has erupted in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. And they don't know how to, they don't have a clue. The problem here is they could still have managed it. They don't have the temperament to manage the popular upsurge. They don't have the patience. They don't have the
conviction in their own abilities. Instead of an administration which should be working for the people of Pakistan, their entire administration is geared towards bleeding India with 1,000 cuts. That's the one and only state policy, unfortunately, that Pakistan has. And at the end of it, as they say, snakes in your backyard will come back to bite you. Well, thank you so much. Nonetheless, Major Nadeem for joining us here on the show. Sushil Pandit, thank you for coming here and giving us your point of view as well. With that, we wrap up Decoding Now. I'll see you again tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. right here on Time Snap.